revolutionary organization based in the working class, we need to be able to analyze and expose in the sharpest class terms what the ruling class is talking about, and also what they're not talking about. See, and that's important. We need to be an early warning system for our class, and especially when there is a silence in the broad media. Now, on the very night that the election debates are taking place, with millions of people tuned in and analyzing, debating, watching the debates, there's one word that didn't come up once in the debate. Now, maybe it's because it's compartmentalized and it's on the domestic struggle this time, but it is interesting that on the very time as the UN Security Council is meeting, as the U.S. is pushing full steam for an outrageous resolution on Syria that really could have been an invitation to war, at the very time that the Turkish parliament is meeting to vote through what is a resolution for war, this isn't part of the debate or the discussion. Why is that? See, it's important for us to be able to take up, as I say, what they're talking about and what they're not talking about on every level. There's the plans that come after the election. We want to know that. There's the plans for right now. And there's the plans for war, again and again, which always come at the workers as a big surprise, some incident, some development. And on Wednesday, it was the claim that Syria had attacked and hit Turkey. So suddenly the U.S. and the other NATO members, Britain, France, Germany, along with Turkey, who is a long-time NATO member from the very beginning of this imperialist alliance, are all passing resolutions, talking, debating, making threats. Now, what's going on in Syria, we don't have time to discuss tonight, but we have to know that this is extremely dangerous development, that you have for over a year the U.S. military arming at every level, financing, equipping, paying mercenaries, all about regime change in Syria. It's also part of the threats on Iran. It's part of the desperate effort to dominate and control the whole region at a time when U.S. imperialism has had big setbacks in Iraq and going on right now, big setbacks in Afghanistan. There's nowhere that's secure. Their most secure base, their largest base in the south, with an attack where they lose, I don't know, 10% of their fixed wing of a certain aircraft. Very important developments that are happening. We need to know that U.S. imperialism needs war, feeds on it, requires the profits from it, and in every sense is always plotting the next war, even while they're engaged in this present war. It's the one way they have of ensuring the domination of a system that is in absolute crisis. So I'm raising this from the point of view, why Syria? As I say, it's a part of the whole attack and threats and war on Iran. It's part of the drive to dominate the whole region. Syria is the only country in the Arab world today that's not directly under the thumb of the U.S. and dependent on U.S. arms and giving billions of dollars of its own money to U.S. military manufacturers. And certainly also plays a role of an important protector and defender of both the Palestinian struggle, of Hezbollah and of left and progressive forces in Lebanon. And considering all the disasters that the U.S. is facing and its inability to prevail in the region, it's opening up the next war. The two events this weekend we want to pay special attention to because they're so linked to this. There's this weekend, and it's already sold out, so if you don't have your tickets, and Bill Dorries is helping to coordinate the security for this event. There is the Bertrand Russell Tribunal on Palestine taking place at Cooper Union. It's Saturday and Sunday, and this is the fourth session of an international tribunal taking place around the world. There's also demonstrations, and on the front page this week of Workers' World, there's a whole address. There's demonstrations taking place around the country, around the world, against U.S. wars at home and abroad. Here in New York, a very important demonstration in Harlem on Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock, beginning at the Adam Clayton Powell State Office Building, the plaza there. There also are other events this weekend in Times Square and down at the Vietnam Veterans Memorial and in several other places. There's actions across the country this weekend, and where we have put out material that defends and supports every single one of these actions and demonstrations to show that we want unity at the highest level. And that message of listing all events organized by any of the organizations of the anti-war movement sent a very important challenge to other organizations to do the same, to list, to coordinate, to be supportive of each other's actions. We have particular responsibilities for Sunday's rally in Harlem on the war at home, focusing on stop and frisk, mass incarceration, voter suppression, and the wars abroad, talking about hands off Syria and Iran, stand with Palestine, U.S. NATO, out of Africa, out of Asia, out of the Middle East. Let's talk about everywhere that these 1,000 U.S. bases are around the world. Hands off Haiti. So this demonstration in Harlem talking about the war here and linking it to the war abroad, talking about political repression right here, is going to be an important action starting at 4 o'clock. We're leaving from here at 1:30 because we're also helping to do the sound and the setup for this demonstration, taking materials up there. If you can help on any aspect of this, please, I think it's see Johnny, who is coordinating and pulling together the sound, or see myself. If you're able to help make any of last-minute signs, we're painting a banner here for Drum, for Youth NAC. And we've been doing a lot of other work for these demonstrations. So, and just while I'm here, I also want to say there's another important thing happening on Sunday. Where there's real U.S. threats, and really we're always about defending the people's movement and pushing back and educating our class about U.S. threats. At the Venezuelan consulate, this is the election day. Sunday, October 7th, is the election in Venezuela. You never know what the U.S. and its all those from the privileged, the wealthy, the 1% in Venezuela that they're in alliance with, have up their sleeve. So there's a vigil that goes on as the vote count is happening in front of the Venezuelan consulate Sunday, late afternoon and evening. That's at 51st Street between Madison and 5th Avenue. As I said, later that evening, a vigil going on down at the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Lower Manhattan by Wall Street. A lot of events this weekend. So if you can come for one, come on Sunday afternoon to the Harlem rally. If you're able to come for several of them, they're on the sign-up sheet. And if you can stay tonight or help during the meeting on the mailing, that is also about sending an important message. And that message is resist another war, no to racism and anti-Muslim bigotry. That's a tool of the 1%. We, the 99%, need unity and solidarity. These ads, by the way, very important. That's what this mailing is about, are going to be up in the subways here in New York City on Wednesday, and we're going to have a press conference to announce it. So anyway, this is on the war front. There are flyers in the back on war danger, stop U.S.-NATO war on Syria. I could also pass these around. There are flyers about the demonstration on Sunday, End the Wars at Home and Abroad. So please do take them, pass them on, send a link, put out a Twitter, and see you there.